right, so on to our next topic, one that I think can be very challenging because there's a lot of different ways to go about doing it, that being pricing. Pricing strategy for the specific to the pet waste removal services and industry. What are some approaches to take? What are some challenges that you've found in this category?
Absolutely. I'll give a little bit of history and kind of talk a little bit about how Scoop Soldiers is where we started and where we're at, and then a few things that we've really been happy to be able to do and proud to be able to do. We started our pricing in 2011 at $9.99 a week for a one-time a week scoop. $9.99, $10.
It's cheap.
It is. It's really inexpensive today. There in the inside of the industry, there are still people out there doing it for that price in 2022. Which leads me to my first comment: don't undervalue yourself. By and large, the client base, the purchasers of our service, are not going to squabble over $2 or $3. If they're price focused as clients, you probably don't want them to be your clients anyways. In my experience, not just in this industry, but in service industries as a whole, the cheapest people, the people that are solely hiring you on price, aren't going to be your longest lasting, most loyal clients anyways. They can't afford your service.
Yeah.
If they're already talking about price, they probably can't afford you. Plus, we're trading time for dollars, right? What is our time worth? What is our time worth? That's all it is. We're trading time for dollars. We're selling convenience. So what is that convenience worth? Well, it's not. We shouldn't as an industry look to say what is the cheapest we can price our services and still make a profit. We're giving ourselves pay cuts. We're undervaluing ourselves. Yeah. What we want to say is, how much can we charge and still provide a very valuable, convenient service to our clients that they see value in. It's about the client seeing the value in the service. And so, we started out at $10 a week. And we quickly realized that in order to build a real business, if we were going to keep, if we were just going to have 150, and this is something to be telling. That's telling. If you're just looking for you personally are going to scoop and run your business and be a solo independent operator, you can probably be more competitive. You can be more competitive in doing that. But do you want to be? And how much more competitive do you want? Do you want price to be the thing that people sign up for? Is that the sole thing you want?
I don't think it's a sustainable.
It can be. I mean, Walmart does that. And to an extent, I've just been reading a book about Amazon. Amazon does that. It's about providing your customer with the maximum possible value for the best possible price. And you want that. But let's think about it. We're in 2022. We've all read and we're all seeing and experiencing and feeling the pain in one way or another, especially if you have team members and you have any kind of turnover in your business, the Great Resignation, right? 2021 just saw some of the largest numbers of people resigning from their jobs in American history. So the Great Resignation. And as you think about that, let's also think and tie together supply and demand, the law of supply and demand. We all understand the law of supply and demand. Okay, in the pet waste business, we've established we're just trading time, we're selling convenience, and it's labor intensive. We're literally, you got not even $100 worth of equipment, so there's not a lot of cost there. You got to have a vehicle to get you to and from, usually a truck, because in most parts of the country and most businesses haul the pet waste away. But aside from that, you've got to have somebody physically doing the physical work.
Right.
And then you think about that law of supply and demand. Well, there's a lot less people today interested in doing physical work than ever before. Shouldn't that increase? So there's a lot less. There's less supply of people willing to do the work. There's also a much higher demand. The demand increases.
Everybody's at home.
Everybody's at home, but we're also a convenience and service-based society. And going back to my constant mantra, 5 out of 10 have heard of the service. 5 out of 10 have never heard of the convenience of the service. Demand is going up. Demand for this service is going up to an extent that as an industry, we could all, again, I'll say it again as I said earlier, a rising tide lifts all ships. If our ships are all over the different businesses that are in the pet waste industry, and the ocean or the tide is the industry itself, the industry is rising and we can all rise with it, but with supply and demand. And so you could say, it's almost cliche to say, well, what's my pricing strategy? My pricing is to be as cheap as I can. I want to be the least expensive service out there. Do you want to be the least expensive service out there? Do you want to get paid less than the rest of the industry simply so that you can theoretically get more clients? Or do you want to figure out how you can build value so that your clients, are willing to pay you 10 or 15 or 20% more? By the way, they are in almost every case. I used to be scared to death of price increases. And so I'm going to segue to this real quick. I'm going to bogart this entire time in some ways to say price increases along with how you structure your pricing. Let's talk price increases.
Okay.
I did my first round of price increases in the lawn mowing world, which by the way is just as competitive, if not more competitive. Probably more competitive on pricing especially. Because the industry in a lot of ways is viewed as a commodity. Lawn mowing crews are a dime a dozen. That's not the same in the pet waste industry. It will be 15, 20 years when 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 dog owners are aware of this industry and this industry has evolved and advanced. It'll become more commodity-like. That's the natural way of industries and business. But in the meantime, we're not as much commoditized. We're not commoditized as much. But even as a commodity, we increased our prices in 2012. I was scared to death because I was underpricing. That was a point in our business, in our lawn and landscaping business. That was a point in our business where I had been devaluing our service. I was doing what we call $20 mows. Nobody who's going to build any kind of real lawn mowing business can live and survive and market and pay their people and retain their talent and so on and so forth on $20 mows. I had to do a 20 to 25% price increase across the board. In that year, we went from minimum of $20 mows, and almost all our clients were at that, to a minimum of $24 and $25. So we did 20 to 25% price increases. Changed my life. Because again, it was all profit. And I say profit, we were able to reinvest it into our business. We were able to hire office staff. We were able to hire salespeople and so on and so forth. And then we grow our business. And you capture some of that profit and you pay higher wages in some ways and so on and so forth. And so it all comes down to the law of supply and demand. And I've since increased prices approximately every 12 to 24 months on all of our services for the last 10 years. Because inflation happens every year. Everybody's heard of inflation now in 2022 because we're all living it and seeing it, literally seeing it every time we go to the grocery store. But inflation's always there. It's just bouncing around 1% and 2%, and maybe some years it actually is negative inflation. But most years of the last decade have had some bit of inflation. Well, you've got to make up for that. And you've got to even keep up with that because as your business grows, you also add expenses and you lose profits. Things go up. Your CRM prices go up. Your gas prices can be affected and these sort of things. Right. So you've got to factor these things in, but don't undervalue yourself. People are so scared, and it's fear to increase prices, or they feel like that they're going to leave. Don't be. Some of the best, again, I mentioned in a previous podcast, the importance of credit cards. One of the next best decisions I've ever made is not being afraid of pricing things where they need to be for the health. If you've got a healthy business, healthy being profitable, then you're able to take better care of your clients. You're better to innovate. You're better off and more likely to innovate. And so that's what we did. We looked at it and said, we don't want to be the cheapest. We want to be the best. So we introduced taking gate pictures. Yeah. Now a lot of people do that, but we introduced requiring a gate picture and sending them so that they have that extra layer of security. That's building value. Yep. How much is that worth to a client?
Enough
I don't know, but it builds value in the service. We used to leave sticky notes on the back door to say, hey, we were here. And we shifted that over to being digital, to where it goes to their inbox with that picture attached. That's building value. Maybe right now, I know there's companies out there that don't do either. They don't leave a sticky note. They don't send an email. They just come and scoop, and then they leave. And they maybe they're undercharging your service. Increase your prices, but also start leaving a sticky note or including an email. That's building value.
Yeah, you have to be able to find balance between the two. And if you're afraid to increase your pricing out of fear that someone will leave, that brings up a good point of self-evaluation of the service that you're providing.
It challenges you.
It challenges
how can
you,
do better.
and it's a great opportunity for you to understand the client's experience and find different ways to continually add upon that.
Exactly. One of the businesses we're in the process of getting into is the pool industry. So our other brand, not outside of Scoop Soldiers, our other brand, Shorby, is in the process of getting into the pool business. And my pool guy that cleans my pool at my house and has for about the last 5 or 6 years has never increased my price. In 5 or 6 years, he's never increased my price. And he was the first call that I made whenever I'm now getting in the pool business, and I basically said, I want to hire you for consulting to teach my team and I some of the things we need to learn that we know we need to learn to be able to get into the pool business.
Right.
And in the first conversation, we were actually talking, and price increases got brought up. This is just in the last couple of weeks. Price increases got brought up. I said, you're going to raise my price? I'm messing with him. So you're going to raise my price? Yeah, we're looking to raise prices. I think we're thinking about a 10%. It was a husband and wife. And I was talking to the wife, and then I later talked to the husband. And she said, yeah, and he's thinking of 5%. I'm thinking of 10%. And remember, I'm a client. I said, that's not enough. Not even close. I said, you guys haven't raised prices in years, am I right? And they said, yeah, we haven't raised our clients' prices in years. He's afraid to do it. He's afraid that the clients are going to get mad at him, or that they're going to want to go elsewhere. You know, a lot of these clients are like family. And I'm kind of shaking my head, yes, but I said, okay, well, if they're like family, he's still there to make, is he in business to run a charity? Is he doing everybody's stuff because he just loves them so much?
Right.
Or is he doing it to be able to put food on his plate, to put a roof over his family? He has like 7 kids, so he's a busy man.
Yeah.
They're a busy family. And I said, it's not enough. I said, 15% is not enough. I said, now it'd be one thing if you just raised prices last year. So, but you haven't raised prices in years.
Right.
And they ended up doing a 20% price increase.
Good for them.
I got an email about a week later that increased the price. It even said 20% price increase. I thought, well, they took my advice to heart, apparently. And then I joked with him. I had dinner with him about 3 nights later as we're working on this. And I joked. I said, I got the price increase. I said, just let me make sure. I want to make sure. I said, you didn't only increase my price 20%, right? Like, you increased everybody's. And they said, yeah. And I said, and even the gentleman, he's sitting across, and he says, yeah. And he goes, and I did the math on the raise I got. And that's exciting. Because you're right, you got 100 clients, he just increased 20%. Yeah. He literally just gave himself, and it's oversimplification, but he literally just gave himself a 20% pay increase.
Sure, yeah.
If he made $70,000 last year, he's going to make $84,000 this year. And again, that's oversimplifying. But just simply by paying himself what he's worth. And they also said, not a single client said a single thing. Not a single client. They've got about 100 clients. Not a single client said a single thing. Now, again, they've gone 5 years. They haven't. And then they made it clear that anybody they've gotten in the last 6 months, they had already priced them accordingly. So that was just a good story to talk about.
Sure,
you don't lose clients. People understand it. They value your service more than you would ever give yourself the credit for it. Yeah. And I've never regretted a price increase, and I haven't regretted going in the evolution of our business practices and mindset from trying to be the cheapest, because we did that. And then we shifted to say, no, we're going to be medium to high on our pricing. We're going to purposely price ourselves in the medium to high range. So one of the best decisions we ever made.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it comes from your intentionality too, and I'll end with this on this topic. If your intention is to gouge someone, you are going to lose that client. Absolutely. 100%. So challenge yourself by understanding the business practice, the customer's experience rather, and find ways to build value upon that. And you will,
the customer experience.